every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Run for cover, you discover some will thrive and others suffer. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Woo! Don't wait, don't hesitate. Better speak the truth, let it resonate and let it detonate and get blown away. Till you keep on rising to a higher place. Can't stop, won't stop. Don't stop coming till we hit the top. Gotta keep pushing till the day I make it. Since they won't give it to me, then I got to take it. The pain today is power tomorrow. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. No matter what they say, I wouldn't do it any other way. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Not enough, they keep us smothered. Lower class, never the upper. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of.
Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf-Tan. I'm your werewolf. And tonight on the Real Millennials channel, we are definitely going to be talking about writing. And who better to have us to school us and educate us but none other a good friend of ours that we've been talking about for so long, hyping up for so many years, riding the coattails at times. I'm not ashamed of that.
Please, he already went to the bathroom. I think his ass is wet enough.
Shut up. Our good friend, J. Ishiro Finney, author of Scars, of Case File Arkham, of many books. He's also been a worker of DC in his past history. You know, I could go on and on, but I think I prefer him to speak for himself. Jay, take it over.
This is J. Sheriff Finney reporting to Skull Squadron, Vermilion Wing. Reporting for duty, sir.
You're making me blush now.
Author, Alien in a Human Suit. Yes, I have written a handful of graphic novels or more. A couple novellas, some short stories, and a nonfiction book called Boobs of Steel, Decoding the Amazon, the best damn pop culture book you haven't yet read, in which I graph and chronicle the importance of the Amazonian archetype in our fiction from the beginning of the Neolithic era to all the way to the present. We learn a lot about Valkyries and Amazons and the pulp genre. We'll get a lot into anime in the 1980s and why these archetypical characters, these warrior women, are so damn important to our culture and to our storytelling. And that's just one part of a much larger series I hope to do. It gets into the fact that the story, our folklore, is integral to the stories we tell and who we are. And this episode about fairy tales is ideal. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh yeah, you need to. Yeah, one of these days we will have to bring you back on there to talk about Bullsfield. I do have your book, and I.
Oh, thank you.
I think I've in at least like two chapters in. I sadly have put it down just because I had to focus on some personal stuff and work related stuff. Mm-hmm. Plus, I'm also working on my own writing as well. But it really has helped me unshackle myself in writing and designing female characters, thanks to that book itself, and definitely thanks to your Wife the Night editor, Kat herself, as well. So I released the burdens.
Well, I'm glad that was one of the key reasons I wrote Boobs of Steel, was that we've spent, honestly, since at least the 1970s, feminists have been hammering home this notion that femininity, beauty, and feminine virtues are somehow sexist and horrible and need to be tossed into the dustbin of history. And the only values, the only virtue that matters, the only strength that matters is masculine strength. And the beauty of the Amazon and later the Valkyrie, these characters are unique in that they walk masculine paths. They're warriors, but they retain all the powers of femininity. They retain their beauty, and they're well. You read the book. I mean, there are so many different ways in which the feminine uh, complements or counterbalances the male, and these Amazonian characters walk the line. And we are failing. What has failed us so badly with the girl boss is all they are discount men lacking a penis.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get more into that. Let's introduce the others. We will start with the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hi, I'm Humble Marty, and I write things.
Like what?
I have okay. One of the books that I have on Amazon was The Adventures of Corcorn, which is literally a unicorn delivery boy versus an air fried chicken pirate.
I need to read that. She needs to turn that into paperback.
And this is on Amazon?
Yes.
Digital only though.
It's also on my it's also on my Teespring store, which is a really good place to sell books because they are open to just about anything from both sides of the aisle, but then they don't really question what's inside.
Oh, that's good. And
since you're doing...
you go by the name Humble Marty?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, since you're doing the vet check interviews, I guess we can keep going. We have the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, morning, or afternoon, everyone. Well, my apologies for the tardiness. I just got back from trivia night.
You owe me $5, Wolf.
Nothing to say, Ishii?
Well, what was I supposed to say in regards to that?
I thought we were working a chain here because you know I introduced Humble and you just gave her the whole
Oh well, I already introduced myself, and that last bit that he just recited flew by so quickly. What was that? I think it was like bam, bam, bam.
We'll move on then. We have
no. Oh yeah, what the hell did he say?
He said.
Repeat yourself, Dom, but more slowly.
I just got back from trivia night.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Nice to meet you, trivia night.
Well, okay. You want me to say something? This guy calls himself Comic Wiz over on Rumble, and he has been a godsend to the Radio Bonsai show I do. This guy requests stuff constantly and has introduced me to a lot of cool music. So how about that?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, tell him to go on Wolf's channel next time when you're done. Stop being late. Can you do that for me? He's supposed to be my second in command. He ain't really setting the standard. But we love Dom here. It's nothing but love here. We just rag on each other. It's like the good old days of the 90s. We always haze each other.
Mm-hmm.
But
something which like most of Gen Z and Gen Alpha should learn from.
What are you gonna say, Ishii?
Oh yeah, that was the beauty of it back then. Is that we all ripped on each other. We all said horrible racist things. We all had real it was the South Park humor, and we all knew it was a joke. Nobody cared.
Well, you already
took it seriously.
Kind of darky.
And we all had thick skins, and we knew that there were real problems in life.
But I don't think you two have made sure. I believe this is probably the first or second time you actually. No, this is the first time you guys are actually side by side now, and that is the lovely Leia Val Leia plus size. Meet Ishii, Jay Ishiro Finney himself.
Hello, Mr. Ishii. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, lovely Leia.
Thank you. Hello, everyone out there. This is Leia Plasage, your lovely Lady of Valor. Again, sorry for the tardiness. Sometimes you have busy days. But welcome to our stream where we're going to be talking about writing. So I am very, very sure we are going to, with our guest here, we are going to have a wonderful conversation. What is that for?
Demerit. Tardiness for demerit.
Oh my goodness.
But I am also a generous and charitable wolf, so you get some back action.
No, you don't.
And some more back action.
Just you're gonna have to. Okay. I haven't even said anything.
Cool as eyes.
I haven't even
we
said
usually
anything.
torture her when she's tardy. Don't worry, we got something for the guys too. Here you go.
Well, there's for Dom. You guys know this is going to be an interesting stream, so buckle up and get ready for the ride.
I mean, really, we're just talking about fairy tales and storytelling.
Just writing in general, Dom. Let's just keep it simple.
But they are an example.
They are definitely
fairy tales are kind of for a lot of us our introduction to fiction as kids, or at least it used to be. So
exactly.
Let me power through this introduction. We have the last but not least, the Sixth Ranger, Dark Stranger.
Me.
I was about to hype you up. Dark.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Hoping for a fun discussion tonight.
So, we're talking about fairy tales. We're also talking about writing. What topics do you guys want to talk about in terms of writing, or what specific subject of writing? Because a lot of people would like to know where to start, how to start their writing, what kind of writing, what they want to do, either storytelling, fairy tales, horror, sci-fi, fiction, hard fiction, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get all that tonight. As Dom's usual shtick, we usually do a part 2 of some sort, or maybe we'll just catch it in the chill stream one day, which is what I'm going to relegate the part 2 topics to from now on. Chill stream.
If I may, probably throw it in a weird direction. I mean, where to start, how to start. A lot of people cover that. You can find the plethora of how-to books that will also cover. But the one thing they don't really cover, and you get vague ideas of where you should go on this or who you should study, but how do you capture that magnetism that really draws the reader in to the words you put on display? Or same with movies, how do you make those scenes that really go, whoa, and you're just really captured by it, and everything else is irrelevant in that moment?
There
are techniques. There are techniques. There are tropes. Tropes are tools. Use them. There's nothing wrong with tropes. There are
not at all
motifs and themes, and that have been proven and time tested for millennia. And that's where you start. Is you read the classics, and you ask yourself, what made this good? Why did I enjoy this? You go back to those books, the ones that really stick into your head, and that scene that really is like, holy shit, I want to write something like that. And you study it, and you start to ask yourself, why did it work? What was it specifically about that drew me in? That's your answer. And once you can figure out why, that's your first step forward.
I'll use myself as an example real fast. I've been looking up for Mecha. I've been looking into Escaflowne, Armored Core. As far as world building, I've been looking to Panzer Dragoon.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing about that.
No, Panzer Dragoon is actually it's a interesting series. You should check it out if you have the money to shield to get some old consoles together. But the Orta is available on live Xbox Marketplace.
Really? I remember playing it a long ass time ago. It was a fun game.
I still play. I'm attempting hard mode for the first time. I'm getting my ass whooped. I managed to get to the digressing. But I've been looking to Panzer Dragoon because I love the world in that in that game where it's just all apocalyptic and it's just almost a soup of a lot of things like cyberpunk, well, I know you don't. I've said this so many times, and on the off chance that you were listening to my streams, I know you don't like any of the other punks, but I have to throw biopunk in there too. It's got a little bit of that science run amok, genetics, and all that. As far as characters concerned, I look up, Xena Warrior Princess. Lot of shows that have a lot of friendship dynamics, like the 5-man band, Gargoyles, for example. So,
Gargoyles is an exceptionally well-written series and a very well-researched series. Again, another one where you want to talk about fairy tales and folklore being the underlying thematic basis for a series. Gargoyles is it.
Gargoyles is lit.
Yeah.
It also introduced like kids back then to Shakespeare.
And horror.
That too.
And mythology. Lots of mythology.
Oh,
Especially African mythology, for example.
Mm-hmm. With the Nazi.
Yeah. Norse
Yeah,
mythology.
Really, this remains like one of Greg Weisman's like best works before his fall from grace. And because also way back then, that he used to be, he got started in comic books with Captain Atom before he transitioned to animation with Gargoyles.
What are you gonna say, Ishii? You're fixing to say something.
I don't remember.
Shakespeare. You
Anybody
haven't
else?
experienced the original Shakespeare until you've heard it in Klingon.
Well, if you want to bring up Shakespeare, you're again asking what makes a story good. One of the things I used to tell a lot of young writers was read Hamlet. Or not read it. See, it's more important to see Hamlet. Don't read it. Shakespeare shouldn't be read. It should be seen. That really should be the boringest pile of shit ever. And if you can watch Hamlet and figure out, well, wait, why am I still watching this? This is basically 5 acts of a dude moping and emoing his ass off, whether or not to do something about the fact that his father has been murdered or may have been. And the fact that we're still engaged up to that amazing bloodbath at the end. Because it is really, 4 acts of him pissing and moaning and being doubtful and emo, and then taking action.
FYI, Hamlet inspired the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Yes. One of the movie critics that reviewed it said, the writers, that created the story of Ghost just did a retell. They said it was a retelling of Hamlet, but this time it's the ghost that sort of gets the revenge. And if anyone has seen the movie Ghost, you know how the story plays out. The Patrick Swayze character is murdered by his best friend, and he has to avenge his own death. And eventually he does, with the help of the Whoopi Goldberg character, who, of course, can see him. He's got these clairvoyant abilities. But the writer said that Hamlet was the inspiration.
She can hear him. She just can't see him.
Yeah, she can't see him. She can hear him. Correct.
It's not clairvoyancy. It's not clairvoyancy. It's mediumship.
Right. That's the clairvoyant was the only word that came in my mind. Until the end of the movie. She eventually sees his spirit at the end of the movie. But the writer...
So does Demi after he fingers her a bit.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. Get used to that,
good.
Ishii. He's
Spicy.
We grew up, and that was pretty much the only quotable or most repeated scene everybody kept on going about. The clay scene when he's, caressing her hand while doing the pod, and it's like, okay.
To tell you the truth, I much prefer the goth version of the film Ghost called The Crow.
Agreed.
Yes, The Crow is a classic. Everyone here, Ishii, knows that The Crow is one of my favorite films. You're very right.
Incredibly well written.
The Shakespeare play I got to enjoy was Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Same here.
Especially when you find out it was all the romantic entanglements were basically due to magic Viagra.
Though my favorite adaptation, or rather the inspiration of Hamlet, is my personal favorite and preference is the Northman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poetic Edda of the Vikings.
Hmm.
That yeah, Shakespeare borrowed wholesale, lifted wholesale that story.
Like,
I
I
always
think
go
I've
ahead,
watched
Walt.
that movie about 6 to 10 times already.
I
Was
remember
it
Romeo
Kidman
and
that really
Juliet was
attracted you,
based
or was
on
it
the
really
tragic
the?
romantic fairy tale
Oh
Tristan and
wow!
Isolde.
Let's not speak all at once now.
Oh, my bad.
Go on, go on.
The play Romeo and Juliet was based on a thinky Celtic fairy tale that was called Tristan and Isolde.
Mhm.
Except
Mm.
in, well, maybe. Okay.
No,
Wait, what are
mythical.
we shitting on here? What's wrong with Tristan and Isolde?
Nothing. There's a channel on YouTube that I'm a big fan of called Mythical Arcane, and it did the backstory of Tristan and Isolde. And Tristan was a member of the Knights of the Round Table, and it told the story. It basically the story that we all know, and of course, it inspired the star-crossed lovers. You talk about a trope. Star-crossed lovers is a trope you find in so many stories. It doesn't matter whether you're doing drama, comedy, fantasy, comic book, animated motion film, or television. That trope is forever extremely popular.
And it became the name of a couple of famous rock formations.
Oh my!
Then why wouldn't it? So no, I thought that Tristan and Isolde was actually rooted in French tradition. Of course, it probably was Celt and then adopted by the French and then found its way into the British Isles. But anyway,
Yeah, to be fair, they all borrow from each other a little bit.
Yeah.
hmm
French fairy tales had some of the best dragons.
What we find interesting in storytelling is that, as you brought up, Humboldt, they seem to borrow from different cultures, give their different versions of tropes or different tellings of certain
Let me
stories.
just throw it out there. We're probably not going to just be
I-
going a set structure here. We'll just bounce off of each other.
hmm
So,
Some
well, I
of-
can
if you guys
answer
want-
that.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
Let's do it do the structure this way. We say something, Ishi compliments or do his Ishi thing.
Commentary.
So go ahead,
Yeah.
Ishi.
Oh, by the way, I just bought Cork One.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I was the real one I laughed inappropriately at was, "Hey, have a seat. How you been? I've been getting shot at." Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. No, depending on your view or belief, I mean, the fact is, I've talked about this a lot lately on my channel, is that before we spoke in words, or before we thought in words, before we had language, it's believed we thought in images, sounds, and narratives in our heads. And that those narratives never left us. They still exist in our subconscious and still need to be appeased and experienced and expressed over and over again throughout time. And that as civilization went on, those universal themes of star-crossed lovers or doomed empires, or there's a handful of different stories being told over and over again. And so, this idea when you hear people say things like, "Oh, it's never been done. I've written a story that nobody's ever," well, that's stupid. No shit. All stories are you telling stories from these universal tales that the stories we've been telling each other from the moment we could start talking. Because these are things that speak to who we are as individuals. They speak to our subconscious. These are things every person on the planet, if they're actually a human being with a soul, can relate to. And what could be more relatable than star-crossed love? Doomed love is one of the oldest tales, and that repeating pattern as civilization went up from Sumeria to Babylon to Egypt, and then up into China and into the Middle East, and then those stories just kept changing and evolving with the peoples as they moved.
What's your
That's
take
my
on
comment.
what's your take on Paul Atreides and Shawnee? Would you call them or classify them as star-crossed lovers, or just predestined lovers?
They're predestined lovers, I believe. One of the interesting things about Dune is it's probably one of the most misunderstood series ever written.
Ever remain?
And it's partially because of the time that it was written and who it appealed to. At the time, there were a lot of stories coming out that really appealed to the boomer generation, the hippies. And so the Foundation was popular, Childhood's End was popular, and the hippies always saw themselves as the revolutionary force that would inherit the earth. And Dune was written as a criticism of the Foundation, saying, you guys are full of shit. And his idea for Paul and Chani was, even our heroes are part of that special club. They're still the chosen club. They're not like you and me. They get special. They get away with shit. They're allowed to get away. Well, Paul leads a holy war, and what a lot of people don't realize is that bit in the second book where Paul realizes, "Holy shit, am I the baddie?"
What have I wrought?
Yes,
Indeed.
and so that's kind of the misunderstanding. Were they destined? That's also a fun question, because on the one end, you could say yes, from a thematic or cosmic standpoint, they were destined to be together, until you find out that every aspect of this culture they entered had been manipulated by the Bene Gesserit to fall in line under this scenario, to view Paul and his people as gods or holy people.
Yes, friends, it's always holy white women that are are the usual ones that are colonizing and deforesting cultures.
Now, I don't know if Kat's listening, but I'm sure she has plenty to say on that as well. She's far more versed in Dune than I am. But it is interesting that, and even those two, it's kind of a twisting of the star-crossed lovers, because that whole myth of, there would be this savior figure that would show up had been seeded and planted for political manipulation by a order of nuns that was based on the Jesuits.
Ooh.
Really, what was fascinating that these tropes and archetypes have been around since time immemorial, and how has essentially when Frank Herbert created Dune, then he is like utilizing those tropes and archetypes, but in a way that hasn't been like done before.
Now,
not to mention, like, he's using history of like into Dune besides familiar fairy tales.
Now, Leia has always made it no stranger that she is not a fan of the Dune story. Excuse me. She has made it no stranger. So, would you want to interject, Leia, as you usually do?
Well, there's nothing. You're correct. There's nothing much really for me to say. Dune is just the story, the writer, the characters, the world has never appealed to me at all. You're correct on that. It just doesn't. It's just, I'm not that type of gal. I'm an old-fashioned kind of chick. Everybody knows that.
She wants a man to sweep her off her feet.
I
be the hero. She wants hope heroes, basically.
Nothing wrong with that.
Wolf is correct.
Nothing is ever wrong with that.
Thank you.
Well, essentially, like she wants aspirational. Look, Negro. Heroes.
Can the lady
I'm just adding into what you said. I'm just adding into what you and Leia were saying.
Dang! You took your hyper meds, didn't you?
Well, what do you think an aspirational character is, though?
True.
That's usually ended up being the protagonist of most epics.
and the one that inspires those around him or her. They're there to inspire, and this may be hokey, but Ishi, I'm going to tell you what it means to me. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, the aspiration is that character that's there to inspire everyone around them, the world around them, and that for us who are indulged in the story. We may not look like this hero, we may not have powers like this hero, but who they are and what they stand for inspires us to be the very best at whatever we do, and they give us hope in any situation that we can be in. That's me. That's my take on the aspirational hero.
Well, it's the correct one.
Oh,
No,
well,
go ahead and back her up on that.
Oh, no, she gets it. I mean, the aspirational hero, even if if it doesn't matter if you're starting from a point of someone who was raised by Ma and Pa Kent and had the best childhood ever, only to discover he's a freak and has been burdened with incredible responsibilities that he wasn't even aware of until they awakened in him, or if it's Peter Parker, who is the dork, who really has nothing to be happy about, who's been shit on constantly and is looked at as a loser, gets powers, and first he uses them for greed, learns the hard way, and rises to become the public symbol of all that is good and right, and that he's the everyman, the little guy, can rise up and still make a difference.
I use myself as an example again. Did I ever tell you that Superman was my favorite superhero growing up? A lot.
No.
Well, a lot of people would see me and assume that I would probably would say that Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or just basically anybody black would be my superhero or my hero. Period. Right?
mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be like Wolfman Jack or something.
What you say?
I thought it'd be like Wolfman Jack or something,
or anybody like from blaxploitation. No.
Oh no! I'm talking about wolf character, werewolves.
If you want to go werewolf, well, you'd be asking me to name my favorite werewolf villain.
But no, Superman was your favorite superhero. Why?
Well, like I've said this so many times. You're a kid growing up in the hood. You watch just about anything that mama put you in front of, and mama had the two of the Fleischer Superman VHS.
Good ones.
So when we've talked about Fleischer Superman on here before, and I'm sure you probably caught the backwatch of that one. But no, when I talked about it, like the first two episodes that I watched were the one with the mechanical monsters and the big giant fuck all laser, and Superman flying up in that air trying to meet that laser, just beating it back with his punches, and you just the rising action, the rising music to follow with it. You just hear him just clapping with the beam to the song. That growing up, that was like my everything watching that. And excuse me, I used to get bullied a lot back in elementary school and up. So that was my source of escapism and comfort. That along with my next superhero, or at least my next hero, Popeye. She also had one. She had two of the Popeye VHSs as well, the classic ones, not the way back, but like kind of like their time current, where he's wearing the white sailor outfit this time, and not his usual black and blue. Though I did watch the one where he had the black and blue too, because they were like a splicing of episodes, but. Popeye was my next favorite, and he was the one that got me to eating spinach a lot, because I always wanted to get strong like Popeye, So imagine little old me watching Superman the animated series now. My favorite version of Superman of Clark
Those are
Kent.
good.
DCAU Superman, barring first season of Superman of Justice League. You know, Superman. After a while, I did kind of got into Batman a little bit. Batman was my dominant hero, but it immediately went back to Superman after Justice League Unlimited. Even when we were getting some brand new Superman films in the DCAU, like Superman Unbound, Superman Batman Public Enemy, Superman Batman Apocalypse. I own Apocalypse, by the way, and
I'm
Crisis on
sure,
Two Earths.
I'm sure Professor Geek might. Professor Geek seems to be kind of the real Superman aficionado expert, so he may disagree with me on this. But from a thematic standpoint, what's interesting about Superman and the Superman that appeals to you, and the one that we really need to hold on to and is more important now than ever, wasn't the original Superman. When Schuster and Siegel created him, he was largely plagiarized, and the original Superman was more of a trickster and kind of a dipshit. Did you know that? He was an asshole.
Yeah, he was
the first abusing his power.
Was his debut number one depicted him about to smash somebody in a car?
He was kind of a bully. He was a trickster.
Wasn't he the one who smacked Lois on the ass too in Sick?
Yeah, and the thing was that, and then he could get away with it because then he would put on his mild-mannered Clark Kent persona, and no one would ever suspect him of being that guy, that character. I mean, he was a very juvenile and kind of a dick. But what was curious about Superman, and this is why I think this is what makes him interesting to me, is that Schuster and Siegel seeded so much Judaism and Old Testament symbolism and mythology, not theology, mythology, into their Superman story. This character that they largely plagiarized from a few other places. They had seeded it with so much of the Old Testament. It was sort of inevitable that he would eventually ascend into a Christ figure, which happened.
I would say Moses, but yeah.
No. He ascended to a Christ figure. He's not a Moses, because Moses doesn't make it to the Promised Land. Moses is a very much a leader of men, where Superman doesn't have to lead. He exists. His mere presence inspires others to be better. His mere existence brings hope. And his belief that anybody can be redeemed, and the fact that he he's the most powerful being in the world. He can do anything.
Oh, finish. Go ahead and finish. I don't want to finish.
And yet, ultimate power doesn't corrupt him. He is the best of us.
That would explain. That does actually answer a lot of questions that I got from when I got to hear the radio plays of Superman.
Yeah.
Yes, they had done one where when he was a teenager, he abused those powers to the fullest, like peeking to the locker room kind of mischief.
Exactly. Yeah. He was kind of a creep.
Go after Humble.
Oh, sure. Well, she's done. I'm sorry.
I'm already done.
Oh, you're done? Okay. I didn't want to step over you. Excuse me. I was going to say, Ishi's last statement is very true. He's the best in all of us. If that's what you said.
Yeah.
And that's true. And like you said, and that is something we need to hang on to, because that's something that I feel, especially in this day and age, Hollywood doesn't get. But for me, because Wolf mentioned all the iterations of Superman, I am the child of the Christopher Reeve era, and I am the child of the Richard Donner Superman, and the Richard Donner Superman, and no clearer was that brought out then when I saw that Richard Donner Superman in the theaters for the first time and with Christopher Reeve, and how Christopher Reeve embodied all of those traits and all of those qualities in the character that made that Donner film so iconic, that still holds today. And you're right, there's been many different versions or takes, but I still feel
I'm gonna interject and back you up on that one, Leia. I have to also add, me being a fan of Superman since Jump. Yeah, Reeves' Superman cemented my love for Superman. I would say that he, in fact, reinforced that love, and that's where it transferred over to Tim Daly and George Newborn, who embodied the voice of Clark Kent, aka Superman. And depending on the mood, I could take both of them. Both Tim Daly and George Newborn did a fantastic job voicing Clark Kent. Also, Superman.
9 times out of 10, like you can't really tell the difference because they sound the same.
And one of them voiced Sephiroth. Got to throw that out there.
And Superman's greatest tragedy was that Ross story where he tries to solve the problems of the world and he realizes he's got all the power in the world. He can move planets. He can even roll back time, but he cannot save humanity from humanity.
Kingdom Come.
Oh, no, it's it's on my shelf. It's the one where he does. It was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. He did a story for.
Oh, the Trinity.
Yeah, the
Trinity.
Oh,
and
favorite
Batman,
story, by the way.
Same here, man.
Get the kid with the gun pointed at Batman. He says, "No, I can't let him. He can't think that the power of the gun will succeed." And then Wonder Woman tries to feed the Middle East, but they hate her because she's showing too much skin. But for Superman, the greatest tragedy is he had all the power in the world, but he can't save men from their own hearts. He can only be an example. He can only lead by virtue. He can't do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn to be able to save ourselves.
It's the one thing I really despise Man of Steel for, is the fact that Zack Snyder, along with David S. Goyer, they seem to only focus on the superficial aspects of Superman. They focus more on the super and not the man. And even to that effect, when it came down to the alien aspect to it, I came to this realization, and it came from watching this one breakdown of Man of Steel from this one YouTuber. I forgot his name. I think I shared it in the Discord in the film section. But I kind of realized what they end up doing was essentially they wrote a Martian Manhunter story, but slapped a Superman name to it. Because if you break it down and look at it and like replace the Kryptonians with the white Martians and replace Superman with Manhunter, ironically, the Martian Manhunter was with him the whole time in both those movies, both Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. But no, if you put him in the place of Kal-El, it's essentially a Martian Manhunter story and not a Superman story. I was like, then why the hell didn't they just write Martian Manhunter? Because that would have fit.
Another thing.
But they also like misunderstand like John Jones's character.
They probably would have. They probably would have fucked that up.
What were you saying, Ishi?
Well, I'd like to make one other point. I mean, we're not really talking fairy tales here. We're actually more going into religious imagery, religion, theology, and mythology. But the other important thing that makes Superman so damn important as a character that people miss, and I would reference The Day the Earth Stood Still as a similar take, is Superman has all the power in the world, but yet he comes down and lives as a man and lives among men and struggles through the trials of men. He lives as a human, even though he's a god.
now we're on the subject of Christianity or Christian mythology or Christian imagery. You want to jump into
Well, that's
Arthurian
why I
lore?
say he's kind of a Christ figure.
Well, I'm saying, like, do you want to jump into Arthurian lore too?
Well, we were going to talk about fairy tales, but I don't know what the hell we're doing.
It's usual. We set one thing and then we're kind of jumbling around everything.
Well, Etrigan is a fairy tale hero based on Arthurian lore and legend.
Etrigan?
The demon
Yeah.
Etrigan
Yeah,
with
the
Jason
demon
Blood.
Etrigan.
Oh, okay.
Gone be gone, the form of man, now take the form of the demon Etrigan.
Well, if you want to jump into
Clearly,
fairy
this is a gaping
tales,
hole in my knowledge. So,
well, if you want to go into fairy tales, go ahead and lead us off then, Ishii.
well, I didn't pick the topic though.
I know he did.
What aspect of fairy tales did you want to bring up? I still want to call you Comics Whiz.
Just call him.
Call him
Dom.
Cheese Whiz.
What was it about fairy tales?
Easy.
'Cause I love fairy tales. I mean,
Well, really,
okay,
well, really, what we can talk about with fairy tales is like what made them timeless in the first place, and essentially how they essentially got kids like into not just writing but reading in general.
well, fairy tales were the original oral tradition of basically preparing your kid for the world out there. If you start looking at what these stories are really about, I brought this up earlier on my own show. I kind of felt bad about it. Was that I forget his name, the dude who did the cyberpunk Red Riding Hood story. I was on a show with him, and I started asking him. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool," and I started getting into the subtext and moral of Red Riding Hood, and it was very obvious that his story was just basically the trappings of the story, not the underlying theme. But let's bring up Riding Hood.
Mm.
Riding Hood is a warning to every young girl, on your way to grandma, do not fall for that wolf. Don't fall for the man, the bad boy who catches your eye, because he was, well, what happens? She gets raped in the original.
Mm.
Oh my!
Yeah,
Yeah,
Talk
that's true.
about getting
the wolf
eaten.
goes over to grandma's house, eats grandma, puts her skin on so that he can lure her into bed and rape her.
Oh,
It's a moral about be careful. It's about don't be an OnlyFans girl.
Cautionary
Mhm.
tales.
Yep.
Hansel and Gretel is about famine,
Mm.
Yep.
about parents abandoning their kids in the woods because there isn't enough food around to go around, and they find the candy house where the woman's a cannibal. The witch eats children, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people miss this, but the wizards have their ceremonial room or laboratory, or take your pick if they're an alchemist. There's that lair that the wizard has. The traditional lair of the witch is the kitchen.
yeah, that makes sense.
And what happens is a weak father, and that's part of the story, is father's weak, caves to his second wife, says, we don't have enough food, let's ditch the kids. And it turns out that wife, the second wife, is also a witch who eats children. There's different versions of it. We could go to, see, there's fairy tales and then there's fairy tales. The Brothers Grimm that tried to compile all these into kind of a one size fits all. But there are multiple versions and iterations of each story, and they each kind of communicate different morals. And in a sense, they were trying to communicate in the language of symbols to little children, the harsh lessons of the world, really.
Yeah, grim fairy tales for most of us, and you're correct in every way, Ishii. Grim, because I read the original. I was a big reader, and I loved fantasy stories and fairy tales when I was in school. It's great escapism, but the stories were very much dark and toned. They were originally to teach children a lesson, as you say. I think for most of us and some of us that are first time, if we don't really read the context of the story, are exposed to fairy tales through Disney, when Disney was, at their magical creative peak, because they got a lot of their interpretations of some of their most successful films have been fairy tales. Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Cinderella, The Little Mermaid have come from their retelling of the stories in
And
in a
not just
simple,
from
beautiful
the Brothers
way.
Grimm, but also from Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Collodi, who wrote the story Pinocchio.
That's an
Mhm.
interesting one. You sound like
That
you know about
one,
that.
that one is a lot darker than Disney,
He
and
hated children.
yes, and the thing that happened to him is the kids absolutely loved Pinocchio, so he tried to kill them off every 8 chapters or so. And then he decided to kill off everything else.
Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, as children, they hear the story. And the story to them could just be a story about a famine and a witch in the woods with a candy house, which is how most of us, I suppose, as children would take it. But just because we primarily live in the conscious mind that thinks logically, as I've said time and again, we have a subconscious mind that is much older, that predates the conscious mind, that thinks in universal symbols and stories and narratives. And those narratives log on and stay. The child's mind still understands the moral. At the end of the day, that knowledge is still imparted, whether the child realizes it or not. And while in the past I may have doubted that, with my own work and me dealing with my own trauma, finding out just how much of those universal archetypes and symbols ended up in my own work unintentionally. Yeah, you can write stories that on the surface are entertaining to the child, but underneath may have just horrifying life harsh lessons that will stick and talk to the subconscious mind, and they learn and know better than to trust the wolf. You're also giving them a universal language that we can all understand. Don't trust him; he's a wolf. No, you're just going to go out there with your little hood and think you're going to be innocent. You know, there's so much of our language are references to those fairy tales. So later, when you do get into moral arguments or debates or trying to explain something, you don't have to tell the entire story. You just have to reference a point in the story, and we already know. One of the most powerful modern fairy tales or fantasy stories, one that's pure Americana that I love, is Wizard of Oz. And a lot of people don't realize, and maybe someday it'll get its acknowledgement, that's our Lord of the Rings. It really is. The Wizard of Oz universe was bigger than Tolkien, sold more than Harry Potter, and was more popular than Harry Potter ever was. And it influenced culture and language to a level you wouldn't believe. And to this day, because of the messages, the symbolism used in that fairy tale, we all know what we're talking about ignore the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, well, that's why. Well, I'm thinking of the movie. That's why the movie has stood the test of time. It's a timeless. I'm sorry, you have to reference film too, because I love the movie. So I love the movie. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, yes, a great film.
Yeah, and I think
wonderful film.
Absolutely, I think that's why it has stood the test of time, and we still love it to this day for the very reasons. Even though it was made in 1939, it still holds. It still holds up in so many ways.
Even though I like the music better in the Wiz, the original Wizard of Oz is still my favorite.
Same.
Over the Rainbow is a classic.
Yeah, I still love Over the Rainbow.
I love the song. I still do. As a kid, I love the song and what the song meant and how much it's so associated with the character. But go ahead.
That's probably gonna give me exiled from the community, but I don't care. I've already self-exiled.
Now, the Wizard of Oz. What's interesting about it is just It's pure Americana. It's a parable about. Uh, it's a populist universe, and with populist values, and the various characters represent different things. I mean, you've heard, what the Scarecrow is the agriculture, the people working the fields. The Tin Man was the people who were in the factories
Mm-hmm.
and suffering under the thumb of the robber barons of industry. The Lion was, I believe, oh God, what's his name? Oh, Brian. There was a. I'm not prepared for this episode.
Woof. Woof.
I know the flying monkey has now been a term used for enablers of abusers in an
Yeah.
abusive relationship.
And people who swarm and bully in swarms and packs. But the witches were representing the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. The wizard was Edison. And
I believe it.
a fiery-haired farm girl, working class, as working class as you get, enters the picture, and it all comes crashing down because she won't put up with it. In the book, she's not nearly so innocent and wide-eyed as Dorothy in the movie. In the book, she is very, very much a fiery, I'm not putting up with this crap. And Glinda, Good Witch, the Good Witch, is all that is good about America, which is why she has blue eyes, she wears white and has pale white skin, and has red hair. She's the red, white, and blue.
She sounds a lot different than what they had in their Broadway play.
Oh, Wicked?
Yeah.
Well, Wicked's a communist propaganda pile of horseshit. It's
Yeah,
some of this
Wicked,
dog
yeah.
shit that needs to go.
That's why Dorothy
I
never
had
shows
seen a
up.
trailer to the movie, and I'm like, oh, no wonder I never watched this. It's actually
Yeah, it's
falling
getting a
apart
sequel.
before it even begins.
It's also getting a sequel, which obviously they just want lesbians to rule the world
Yeah.
Well, the thing,
at this point.
Whereas with L. Frank Baum, it was like that generation is like Lord of the Rings. Yet because it's so timeless, both the original book series and the movie is touched with a lot of people across the generations. And like he
But-
knew like how to like world build as well as establish like good characters.
Step in after Dom Ishi.
Huh?
Go ahead.
which one of us?
You, Ishi.
Oh, no, it's just that Wicked and a lot of the stuff they've been doing with the Wizard of Oz is essentially communists and the Rainbow Brigade trying to co-opt it and destroy yet another one of our cornerstones of culture that define us as a people. I mean, the Wicked Witch is a communist revolutionary? Are you shitting me? The Wicked Witch of the West was representing the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. She was one of the tyrants of industry that were working people to death.
To be fair, they do not think ahead. It was like, I am going to pick the anti-villain or the villain to validate my existence. And I'm like, there is an entire library section devoted to the LGBTQ because it has its own tropes and its own storylines. And there are actually a ton of show writers and runners that have done much better characters than trying to be the Wicked Witch. Because the Wicked Witch
they
is
seem
not
to
a
keep
revolution.
relating to villains.
Yeah.
Or yeah, relating to villains and making the villain is the hero and the hero is the villain.
Well, of course they have to feel that way. Otherwise, they'd have a moral standard to live up to. But, you know, if those people who are living moral lives, trying to be altruistic and help others and, you know, actually be decent, functional human beings, if they actually have a point and they have to actually look in the mirror and realize that, no, their rainbow agenda, they're just a bunch of debaucherous shitbags who like communism and want to steal people's shit and destroy countries and cultures, well, that doesn't really paint them very well, does it?
If
I-
they
Still
really
their story,
had the
right?
courage, that would have been their redemption song to write and to commit fully. But we all know that they rather be right than kind. As the
Well,
saying goes,
if
better to be
I'm
kind than being right.
if I'm gonna be controversial, I think my favorite part out of the movie, that Disney movie that was based on the Ugly Duckling, was, well, it wasn't based on the Ugly Duckling. It was based on the chicken that kept on saying the sky was falling. His love
Penny
interest
penny.
is the Ugly Duckling, and they decided to do a movie of it, and it was funny because they had hot action stars star them, and you don't see the movie, but you can see the reactions. It's like, oh yeah, that looks great.
Pull up Leisu's comment, or Asu's
Layout.
comment there. A bit about their
Leasu.
racist too.
Author based Wicked after reading up about the
They're
child.
racist too. A black woman is a wicked witch. No. See, they have a bizarre worship of this image they want the black woman to be.
Mm-hmm.
And man,
Yeah.
and they spent a lot of time and money
Oh my
and
God,
propaganda
you guys
to shape the black
exploded.
woman
Okay,
into
okay.
that character.
I'm about to
Now,
sorry.
if you wanted a better version that stuck true to the spirit of the book, I think the Muppets version definitely did well.
So about Wicked, I think this sums it up.
No offense, but it sounds like that's some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Thank you. Norm McDonald's not wrong.
I never took to Wicked at all. I saw the musical, and I hated it. I told people I did not enjoy this movie. I don't like the what the writer was trying to say. Also, I think the writer also said he created Wicked because he wanted to tear down American society. He was a member of the alphabet community, and he was angry that part of his lifestyle was not accepted. So he wanted to tear down what was beloved to people. You kind of see it in the film. And also, like you said, I was trying to listen to what Ishi was saying. Margaret Hamilton is the Wicked Witch, not Cynthia Erivo, and I think that casting her was done on purpose. I don't believe it was. Well, she was just wonderful in the audition, and she was basically
I'm gonna call her for what she is. She's a space cadet. She's their space cadet currently right now. You see how she's defiling her image already. You see what she used to look like way before. Now you see her after. Now she's in the industry. That woman is becoming more haggard-ish by the minute. Every single time they prop her in anything, she looks way more haggard. And they do that to all the other ladies that they try to prop up. And even the ones that actually are just there to do their job or try to either seek fame or seek fame the right way or do right by their peers. Even then they try to make them look very haggard-ish. So she's it's obvious that what's her name again?
Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo is their space cadet because she's already done Jesus Christ Superstar as Jesus Christ himself with a freaking beard.
They're trying to deify this bizarre image of the black woman they have in their head. It's not real. This isn't what real black women are. They have created this image of what they want black women to be. And
read Iron Cast's compliment to my shows so far.
Nobody is ever ready for the Wolf Cast. I've been on once and was utterly befuddled.
I still remember his reaction when I brought up Hell Girl. What the fuck is Hell Girl? I never die laughing on my show ever after he asked that question. But seriously, check out Hell Girl. You might like it, Iron Cast.
If I could
wait, Leia.
Erivo, is that her name?
Go
Black
ahead.
actress.
Go ahead, Leia.
Okay. I just want to get this out quick before we move on because I wanted to kind of back up Ishi's comment. I feel for Wicked, particularly the cast. This is to me. Maybe people won't feel this way. I feel like they're trying to portray black women as victims. That were victims. That life will be it'll be that's just what I get.
Let me tell you
I
what
think
it
Revo
really
was
is.
cast for a reason, not just. I
Let
think
me
there's a
tell
reason
you
like that.
what it is, Leia. It is the eroticism, the sexualization, and the fetishization of Mammy.
Yeah.
Ah,
They've taken they're basically they're reinventing, but they're retooling the black woman's image to go back to the what she is the negress, if you will.
Wait,
The
so they basically made the Wicked Witch the Aunt Jemima lady.
no. Aunt Jemima is cool.
No.
Oh,
No,
Aunt Jemima's
no.
cool.
This
Okay,
is something
sorry.
more. Hang on, humble. You're gonna get educated tonight. This is way more sinister. She is what they were called the Negro bedwench,
The house
Ah.
nigger, but with a vagina.
basically. Well,
Yes.
the
Yes.
the master's
see.
pleasure coping tool.
Yes.
Cock sleeve.
When she's when the white man's wife wouldn't pleasure him, he would go with the bedwench.
Yes.
They're reinventing the Negro bedwench. So I'm not saying of Ario's basically that yet, but she is a part of that imagery that Hollywood is trying to put forth on black women. And black women are eating it up so hook, line, and sinker. They don't realize that they're actually participating. And of course, the sad truth is,
right quick, time out. Right quick, just a correction since you keep on saying Irvrio. It's Child of Flower corrects you. It's Idina Menzel. That's Elphaba, not Cynthia Irivio.
Okay.
If I remember right, look, I don't remember the names to faces very well. The only thing I remember was when she got upset because someone did fan art of her on a poster using the original composition of the original poster for the Broadway play.
No.
They just put lipstick on her lips and she threw a pissy fit.
No,
Yeah.
it was the poster. Period. The poster was reflecting the cover of the original book, and she had the nerve to get mad at it. I don't think she was mad. She was trying to flex her stardom that she had, sway.
I don't know. I thought it was.
No, that's my speculation.
I
but
thought
I
it
think
was
it's
just
true.
nothing but a 2-year-old temper tantrum.
Well, no, I'm just.
Bedwinch bet.
But no, to finish my tirade, I'm gonna finish my tirade. But Leia,
Okay.
in short, what they're doing with black women in these films, in this industry, if you look at the way how they're designed and go right back to they're rolling back slavery, and that's how I'm viewing it right now. They're trying to reinvent the image of slavery, trying to make it a nice and sunshine, rainbow, and flowers version of it. So when these women are acting out and dressing the way they're dressed, you obviously can tell what black woman in their right mind would look the way they're currently looking like now, and want to be LGBT. No black woman wants to be. I'm talking about a real black woman. I'm talking about strong, real black woman. I'm talking about the ones from back in the days, even up into the 90s. What woman would want to be that besides Queen Latifah? And I know Queen Latifah ain't down for looking the way how that one bra looked like at all, because that bitch was all about looking like what's that one lady that was not down for the white feminist? I forgot her name. I'm pretty sure Child will point that out in the comments. But it's basically just they're basically want to train black women to be the Negro bedwench, and they want to be the wet nurses to their weird troglodyte babies. They basically just want to rope the black women in, and black women are so susceptible to this nonsense because they was always susceptible. And I hate to say this, but it's the ugly truth. I'm gonna say it. It's the ugly truth. But black women were trained to be susceptible to that back in slavery. Once they separate them from the men, it was all bet. No offense, Leia. It was all bets off. They traded their man for the white man, and that's why they're on the food stamps. That's why they're on the benefits and all that nonsense. That's why they're so good. They're so good with being enslaved by the masters goodies, if you will. Going back to the whole Red Riding Hood analogy, you know,
I
I
think
got
you have
goodies
a
for you.
point.
But
So
I-
I hate to go on tirade. Go ahead, Isha. You can.
I would like to push back a little on the bedwinch or maybe redefine it a little.
Go
Um,
ahead.
You know, at this point, it seems that controversial is what sells, and the great noticing is happening. So who gives a flying fuck anymore? I'll be honest with you. Uh, Ashkenazi Jews, especially those from Hollywood and New York, seem to have a very bizarre black woman fetish. And it is amazing how many of them are jealous of black men for the fact that there is a bizarre black woman fetish. And it isn't just any typical black woman, it's an overbearing black woman. And it's not just an overbearing black woman, it's a black woman who not only is overbearing and they're black woman, but the black woman who will then get in the face of white men, straight Christian white men, or regular people, start fights and basically be that tool, that wrench that utterly is absolute chaos that just topples civilizations. You notice that there is so much encouragement of black women to get in fights, to start fights, to act like animals, and to be the bane of common decency. That doesn't strike me as mammy. That strikes me as somebody's fetish.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, that's a valid point. Even now, I don't know what this count. Would you say this counts with the race swapping, swiping out? Well, like Cynthia Erivo's race swap. You got other characters.
When it comes down to the race swap, look at the designs, Leia. Always look at the designs and tell me, do you not see their version of what they would like for a certain PC character to look like? More harmless, less feisty, less argumentative, less combative, and subservient, and only attack the white man.
Well, not just the white man. Keep in mind, they like beating up Asians too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
making a
remember-
movie,
the white
and
man
having-
and whomever they decide to target that's not towing the
But-
line.
The other thing is just
right.
I want to point out you were bringing up the race swaps. How
Yeah, like-
often it's a redhead that they get rid of. And
Mhm.
something that people don't
Yeah.
understand about redheads is that redhead Celt has traditionally been subtext in fiction, and this goes all the way back to, oh God, the Middle Ages at least, if not before that. If you saw a character who was a redhead in a story, it typically meant they were working class
huh.
because the Irish and the Scots and the Welsh were working class people. The wealthy were Aryan blondes, typically, as that's how they're portrayed, but the working class were always Irish.
Interesting. Yeah, the Ariel being race swapped, Mary Jane being race swapped.
Right. And,
Yeah, we're seeing
and
a
when
lot of that.
when Hollywood decided, hey, let's start race swapping people, they looked around and said, well, we most certainly don't want to get rid of the character that looks like us. Let's
Yeah,
get rid of the
until-
working class
and-
character.
Until there's like none of them left to be race swapped, so they just race swapped that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something there because that, or I know House of the Dragon race swapped some characters, and I didn't watch the show. I heard about it and I just saw the pictures. And turned there's a young black female, and then there was a movie about making Anne Boleyn black, and I'm just, why are you doing this? It's not
Okay,
necessary.
That
It's destroying, Western culture.
That
White
also
people are
gonna
not
take
allowed to
the
have a
mic real
culture.
quick. That right there, I'm going to take the mic real quick. Black people are so obsessed with the out of Africa concept that they're willing to use that as an excuse to steal everybody else's culture and basically just plagiarizing while not calling it plagiarizing, or at least not necessarily plagiarizing, just stealing. Period. They want an excuse to steal things, rob people, and try to use it as a mask or a shield. That's
Like
what
they did the
that's coming from.
convenience stores.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
but I will say, as
Even
far as
though-
movie roles and stuff, it isn't black people by and large casting black people into these roles.
No, it's not. It's white people. Well,
No, it isn't.
who
No,
is
no,
it?
I'm sorry. I thought Jewish people weren't white.
Gosh.
Oh,
Oh, the one,
I
the
knew
one.
I knew that's what you're gonna say, but I want you to say it.
Well, they're
You know what? I don't
multicolored.
care.
It
You
depends
know,
on what
maybe
hole
last
they
week I
come
wouldn't.
out
I
of.
don't care anymore. I'm so sick of my culture being destroyed. You know, if it wasn't enough to go after the Celts, now they're going after Japan. You know what? I don't give a shit anymore.
yeah.
The
I
great,
think
the great noticing
And
has
is that
happened.
there's no psychics or cyborg cops. Damn it, Angel
Well,
Cop. Why didn't you
there
ask?
is one thing I found kind of funny. Every time they race swapped someone, it wasn't just working class. They also race swapped them with someone who'd been lynched.
Well, you know, you got to encourage hatred of average white people.
Well, they're supposed to,
My
but
question is here.
yeah.
My thing is this. Okay, you want to do all of that, but why do you always want to steal from those that are the quote unquote worst kind of cultures? Like, why do you want a black Viking? Vikings
Yeah.
are Vikings are by and large from other cultures categorized as, you know, ravagers, reapers, and rapists, right? Why
Oh,
would you want a
what?
black woman to reave somebody?
Okay, well, I can talk about the Vikings, sure. That's an easy one because despite the attempts to vilify or there's been this has gone on for a very long time. It's only recently that we began to find out just how civilized the Vikings actually were and how advanced and how cleanly a society they were. And there's been a renewed interest in Vikings as well. Why? Because it's white culture. With its own mythology, its own literature. It's had a great reach into who we are as a Western culture, the influence on Shakespeare, for instance, the Poetic Edda. And despite the idea that Vikings were roving barbarians who just raped and pillaged, Viking was actually a job. But the Nordic civilizations had a lot more to give than that. And there was a very rich and healthy masculine portrayal in their mythology. There was a rich culture there that they want to wipe away and destroy.
I mean, heck, like Vinland Saga, like it helps to like enlighten people that like the Vikings and the Nordic culture is not like what the media has like portrayed like the Vikings as, because you could tell with the mangaka, he did a deep dive in his research. He wants to like portray them as accurately as possible through storytelling and sequential arts. And really with Vinland Saga, it's pretty much like a modern fairy tale of Hamlet.
Well, that's where Hamlet came from. The story of Hamlet was lifted again from the Poetic Edda. But also the mythology of the Vikings, which is also shared with the Celts. There was a lot of back and forth. The Vikings conquered the Celts quite a few times. And then there's also the crossover with the Goths, is that this is, again, yet another language of symbols that is deeply ingrained in the Western consciousness that we have used for ages to talk to people. And the last thing they want is for us to have, we're allowed to have apparently Levantine mythology. We're allowed to have Levantine folklore, but apparently Viking folklore is racist. Unless we revise it and make it gay and black.
I'm gonna just throw in the.
Damn, that humble speak.
Oh, God.
I'm just gonna throw in the dumb part. It's like they're probably decided, oh, Vikings are cool now. I want to be that guy. I want to throw axes. I want to be that. I want. And it's like,
oh, that yeah.
Have like an entire folklore, fairy tales. Heck, African vampires turn into fireflies to sneak into people's houses.
Yep.
They've got a whole plethora of monsters, cryptids, even dinosaurs. Like the Mokilimembe is a small sauropod that lives in Africa, and no one could figure out where it was because it is basically a master of hide and seek. It probably learned from Bigfoot.
Yep.
And if and the last time someone decided to do a whole bunch of stuff on some history, a couple of white feminists decided to do, I think, the Woman King, and the Kingdom of Dahomey is actually a place that was built on literal slavery, and what ended it was they botched a trade deal with the French. If you wanted something that was a little bit more complete about slave trade and culture destroying and stuff, Solomon Kane, the Moon of Skulls, is very good at that.
Oh, Ishi,
Well-
I need to tell you about how I suffered the 6888 viewing with me and my mom and my stepdad. Jesus Christ.
Really?
The 6888, yep. I was in their household. I had no choice. But my God, I was not happy throughout that whole film. One, because Tyler Perry got World War II wrong, anachronisms galore. He spends most of his time propping up these women, but he conveniently forgets about that one Negro that was on the ship firing at the planes. You know, but he focused on how black people are not allowed to serve combat, which was true.
Yeah,
it was true. But these ladies stepped into the war after the attack on Pearl Harbor. So why did they not know about the one Negro on the bow of the ship firing a 50 cal at the Zeros? Maybe one can excuse that by saying, well, they didn't tell that story. Oh no, it was documented. It was even brought up in the commentary of Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor.
It's simple. It goes against the narrative they're wanting to push and normalize.
Exactly.
Narrative.
The fact
I digress.
The fact is, by the aughts, we had most of this racist shit sorted out. And that just is not good for the slave masters, is it?
Yeah.
For the common white guy, the common Asian, the common black guy, all just to get along.
Charles, apologize. You don't need to apologize. You didn't see it. Good.
The fact of the matter is,
You're
they
good.
want us divided. They want chaos in the streets. And the last thing they want is any of us to have a culture.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what it seems like. It seems like now it's not bringing us together; it's tearing us apart. That's what I'm getting.
I think they kind of backfired.
Well, yeah, they've backfired hard because we're all clinging to it harder than ever.
Swinging
And we
back
know
to the
who's
top of
doing
your
it, and we're all kind of getting really angry. And bringing up the Vikings again, there's this kind of notion that we should all shy away from, or oh yeah, the Vikings did terrible things. They did take slaves, they did rape, they pillaged, they waged war, they glorified battle. Every culture needs to have their tales of being thoroughly dangerous, and there's nothing wrong in a culture taking some pride in being thoroughly dangerous, because it reminds other cultures and other outsiders, maybe we don't want to fuck with these people.
I'm gonna look at the Mongols.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Mongols did all sorts of monstrous stuff, but at the
Or the
same
Maoists.
time, there is some pride in that monstrousness. It means they're not helpless, they're not harmless, they're not easily conquered. One of the things a lot of people don't understand, this is way off topic,
That's okay.
is a lot of people don't understand the video Deutschland by Rammstein. Everyone here seen it?
Not yet.
I'm gonna need to watch that actually.
Through it over and over again shows Germans moments in German history, and most of those, actually, I think all those moments are real, of Germany's strife and chaos and destruction, and just the strife they've struggled through. And it starts with the Teutoburg Forest, where it's the national legend. It's a folk myth, but it's real. It really did happen. in which a German or Goth at the time became a Roman soldier, or I believe actually it was a centurion. He had come back and he was to take the land beyond the Rhine for Rome, and he was going to govern over it. And when he got there, he crossed the river, and then he said, okay, he basically led his own people in revolt against the Romans, and they massacred them. The battle at Teutoburg Forest was a massacre of one that was of nightmarish, hellraiser proportions, with intestines hanging from the trees and heads on pikes. And I mean, it was a slaughter. And to this very day, it is a story the Germans are proud of, but yet at the same time are embarrassed of, because they know deep down in their blood that they are those violent people. And there is a national pride that throughout history, they have been this violent people that are unconquerable. But and that's why Tal Hildmann, or whatever his name is, of Rammstein says, Deutschland, I hate you, Deutschland, I love you. It's because he's both proud and ashamed of what his people are. And that is a reality I think every culture has to realize, that there is some pride in being unconquerable, that being so dangerous that other cultures should know better than to fuck with you. There's nothing wrong with that.
The quiet
Why
man
did I
is-
admire the Vikings or even the Spartans for that?
Yeah. Why is 300 such an important tale? I mean, technically speaking, the Persians were more enlightened. The Persians were anti-slavery. They were the civilizing force. The Spartans were had slaves and were more violent. They were a warrior culture with a slave economy.
Yep.
What's the pride was, we're not going to let you take our culture. We're not going to bow down. We don't care that you're the greatest superpower in the world, Persia. You're not taking my home. You're not taking my land. You're not taking my traditions. Eat a dick. And I'm willing to die for it. And those stories are what they're trying to erase. They don't want us as Americans or Europeans or Japanese. They don't want us to have those stories of epic sacrifice for your people and your culture and your way of life.
Yeah, that's true.
Demoralization and
I think they screwed up big. I think a lot of us are now more willing to take there are more people, more than ever, are people willing to get into a 300 situation if it meant saving their civilization.
There was like for one thing, one of the things that has actually happened in Japan is they have a different train car for the foreigners after basically the tourists being dummies.
Yeah.
And
Japan's
the comedian Mishida.
Japan's done. Japan nationalism is skyrocketing, and it's really interesting how quickly Japan became grapers.
No, don't censor yourself, Ishi. Just say the word rape.
Rape? No, not rape. Oh, do you not know what a groiper is?
Chikan.
Oh, groper. You mean
groiper? Proud anti-Semites.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, I got that word wrong. Pardon me.
That also.
Japan has gone full little mustache man on that front.
Ooh.
They know who are flooding their nation with foreigners to destroy their culture. They know
okay, full disclosure, everybody. If any of you guys come on as a guest, you do not need to censor yourself. So none of them cutesy ass names like grape or any of that unalive bullshit. Say the damn word. Be a man and a woman and a fucking English speaker. Damn it.
A groiper is one of those people that are a fan of Nick Fuentes.
Oh wow.
That's a groiper.
Oh my.
You know Nick Fuentes, right?
Barely. I know him by name.
Let's just say that the merchant leaning forward with his hands writhing with greed as he destroys civilizations has become very popular in Japan, and it happened in like 2 weeks.
Sick.
Oh my.
They were very quick to figure out who was flooding their nation with illegal migrants and cheap labor, and were very quick to figure out who was trying to destroy their culture. And unlike the West, who wants to be nice, and we've got certain manners, and it's just kind of ugly to use racial slurs. Japan doesn't care, nor does China.
You know who you should check out one these days, Ishi, on your own time? Besides Channel Jackson, Vince Everett Ellison.
Yeah.
That man, even though he's like very devout and pious, he makes some really
That's
good
okay.
points. He'll have you cracking up, and you put some power in your chest because he says it with his chest. I know you don't care, but I'm just describing him.
Mm-hmm.
The one piece of news I thought was really fun off of. Oh, sorry.
Hang on, Mari. Hang on.
Sorry. Mm.
One of the things that he criticized both him and our people on, especially when it came down to Dr. King, he says King preached a movement of weakness where Black people are basically asking the white man to love them, like, and I took the word as that one child. Excuse me, Ishi, if this probably sounds a bit too familiar. That one child asking the abusive parent to love them.
Yeah. Oh, that was intentional.
Pretty much. But that, like, you hear people like when they describe other races outside the states, oh, I don't like them because they don't like my skin color. Like, and it's like if somebody
then don't go close, then leave them alone. Why would you want to talk to those people?
I'm like, why are you begging or demanding somebody to love you? That's my question. I'm pretty much parroting what he said, but now I'm taking that to myself going forward. This, in life, I'm like, why do I need somebody to love me, let alone like me? If they don't have to like me, that's their problem. They put their hands on me, that they got another problem. Again, quoting Vince Everett Ellison. Check him out. Also, check out that one video I linked you and Cat in Discord. Uncle Tom too.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
no, it is interesting how much the globalists have chosen the Black community as their houseboys, bed warmers, and shock troops.
Mm-hmm. So let's swing it back to writing. One thing I want to say exactly is it's very imperative that we actually do seek out these mythologies, these history bites that we know to be true, and we need to find. I think we really need to be a contingent, not as a group exactly, but like those who are willing to step up to the plate if need be, to write these stories, write them in a way that kind of that hopefully if people read them can trace it back to this information and open their minds and eyes to something that everybody was either didn't teach them or outright try to hide it from them. Like, say for instance, maybe one of these days when I get my writing down pat, maybe I'll retell the story of Anansi at some point, because I don't know what they're trying to do with Anansi in any other future media, but I'm definitely going to try my best. If I want to, if I have the drive to, I'll definitely write a story about Anansi the correct way, by the way, or even track down the other mythologies from Africa. Go on, Don. You haven't said anything all day.
Yeah, I'm just being courteous.
God, being polite. I mean, so what's up, dude?
I know you're kidding, man. Well, I was gonna say to Wolf, if you're gonna do a story like that features Anansi, make sure make sure like you do something that is not only authentic like to who he is, but it's different from how he was portrayed in the TV adaptation of Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
How was he portrayed in that?
Let's just say he agitated like the slaves who would basically like kill like the Dutch crew and everyone else, so like he could get to America.
Black Power fans.
Essentially,
Oh.
yeah, but he also well, he also he lied to the slaves that things didn't change for the better, or like for black people.
Reading Final's quote here. He's a big fan of Fences.
Who said I got to like you? What law is there that said I got to like you?
It's a quote from Fences. The play Fences.
Yep.
Well, does
Well, I was
raise
gonna
a
say, well, like going back. Yeah, but it's really good to get back to fairy tales. So like, no matter like where, regardless of like of their origins, like they speak to really universal objective truths. Like no matter how comfortable they are, they really deal with the human factor and what really ties us all together. No matter where we came from, and like even like back then, like before like the SJ hobos like rear their ugly heads in. There have been numerous like retellings of these classic fairy tales, whether it's in books, comics, you name it. I mean, with Fables is it tells a story of these familiar fairy tale characters, but they're essentially forced out of their land by the adversary and into the real world.
Yeah,
But you actually see, but you see them like as they are like after their stories ended. So in a way, it's a continuation. Even though Bill Willingham he takes them in a different direction, which leaves you like scratch your head like, would they really act or become this way?
Yes,
But it's an entertaining story. But it's an entertaining series nonetheless because Bill Willingham he not only like did his research and is familiar with the fairy tales. Besides, Anderson and the Brothers Grimm, he was being respectful to those fairy tales, nursery rhymes, and folk tales.
Yeah, the one thing I have noticed, and this was off of MSNBC, they had a panic attack when people decided to get back into Christianity, which is a Christian nationalism. People are basically getting back more into Christianity and Aristotle.
Yeah, well, you know what? Everything they want for us is bad. So if this makes them upset, it's a good thing.
No,
What-
I
Go ahead.
stopped attention to MSNBC a long time ago.
I will say the best rendition of Anansi I ever read was by Dwayne McDuffie. Are you guys familiar with that one?
No.
I'm familiar with the kids version.
He wrote a story arc in JLA where Animal Man's powers start acting really weird and start flipping out.
Ooh.
And then I forget there was and it was Vixen, the character who's a black model.
Lord, Vixen.
Yeah. Vixen, her powers start acting up really strange. And she had always thought her powers were rooted in this certain thing. And you later find out, no, Anansi had gifted the powers to her. And that her powers tied directly to Anansi. And they had recently been acting strange and doing bad things. And you find out it's because Anansi found it amusing. It was that simple. It was just funny.
I love Anansi and Gargoyles, of course. He does make an appearance in Gargoyles. Ugh, he's so creepy with that voice.
And for her to then realize that her destiny was forever tied to this god who you couldn't really trust because he was a trickster.
Yep. Oh boy.
It was a great tale.
No, I agree. It really like Dwayne McDuffie's like run with JLA remains like the best one.
Yeah.
And one
Dwayne
of
McDuffie is my inspiration for writing as well.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, because like
And
when he and the others like founded Milestone, so like they hire like the best people for the job like across from all walks of life, not
I'll,
just black creatives.
I'll throw this out there real fast. It has absolutely nothing to do with him being black either. I have to throw that out there. He just happened to be a good writer, and I discovered later on that he was black.
oh,
Well, he didn't sell himself as a black
Yeah,
writer.
I mean
so
like
he
back then
didn't.
I didn't. Yeah, yeah, I mean like back then like I didn't know like McDuffie was black either until years later.
Yeah, he did. He died too soon. We could have used him around now.
Mhm.
We could use a few more Dwayne
Well-
McDuffies right now.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, like he'll be completely against with how DC's been handling Milestone Media, and like the remaining founders, they're not helping matters. They just like bought into the whole thing.
If he was alive, he would have a better Black Lightning show.
lately I've had better. Lately, I'd seen better writing in most of the indie sphere.
Oh, very much. Even like in the independent spheres, like they are either inspired by or retellings like of familiar and obscure like fairy tales. Like they're more like that's it. I'm saying like in the independent sphere, like they're more respectful to fairy tales than most of today's creatives.
Well, they have one person doing a manhwa of the rooftop Koreans. And
But
mm,
we might have to just cut this short now because I don't want to keep him away from the missus, and I'm sure we all have work in the morning. And I think this is a good time to really pause this for now. Ishi, if you're willing to join us again and revisit
Sure.
this topic on a chill stream, I'll shoot you an invite. I don't know how your day is going to go because
Mhm.
usually when I'm beginning to do these chill streams on my off days, and usually I do them like somewhere around the morning or even afternoon. Afternoon's fine for you, or at least like somewhere in the evening.
My schedule's so weird at this point. If I can show up, I will.
Okay, but yeah, if you feel free to revisit this topic, I'll just shoot this. In fact, how about this? I will shoot the schedule and we can revisit this topic on a chill stream. Because I know Don want to talk extensively more about this, and I'm sure both the girls would like to put more in their input on this because this is definitely a very engaging topic, especially with you putting your 2 cents in. Hopefully when he's seen better days, Ross probably will jump in. Ooh, I'm actually kind of scared of that.
Oh, he shouldn't be.
I'm just scared of making a bad impression on Ross.
Ralph is a good guy. I wouldn't worry about it.
I don't know. He's
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, fearless leader.
He just strikes me as the unpredictable factor. You just don't know what you're gonna get with him,
Like a box of chocolates.
right?
you never know what you're
heck,
going to get.
Oh, heck, in one of the previous episodes, of Radio Bonza, like you're ready to like share his opinions about like a band that everyone likes, but he's not a fan of.
Here's what I was shocked was the fact how fastly him and I almost, well, I wouldn't say almost, we instantly got along, especially in the green room.
Yeah.
It's like I was really shocked with it. I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna be but it's like you're a dumbass. It's like okay, I'm a stay in the corner right now and let you talk, let you guys have your conversations. But no, like I was really shocked and also happy that we him and I got along real fast.
Keep in mind that Raltz and I are from a generation where it was expected that nobody would agree with each other.
True. Though I
Sounds
still
like
wish
I'm
we
going
could
back to that.
have met in the same era. I probably would have learned better things from you guys, but look, that's a whole different topic.
Hey, You're doing fine.
It's never too late to learn something new.
That's also true, Humble. How you sound? How you have the voice of a 20-year-old, but you also have the wisdom of a 50-year-old?
I had learned from people in their 70s and 80s.
Oh, so you're like me, always hanging around with the grown folks.
One of them, her name was Norma, had her dream job was to be a public speaker. She didn't reach that until she was in her 80s. And the one thing she'd keep saying is, you don't react, you respond. And she was also the same lady that at church for Halloween, she dressed up as a witch. And granted, this is like the friendly lady that would probably give out cookies and hugs. So she dressed up as a wicked witch, had this little cheap made in China discount crystal ball that she tried to look into and try to do a laugh. And she was an infectious, sweet lady.
So that's more of Humble's origin story.
Well, she taught you well.
Actually, I think the reason that Humble Marty comes across as the voice of a 20-year-old, but having such wisdom, has more to do with having an angry unicorn with no fucks to give trapped in her brain.
So, so far, even though we went way the hell off topic in some parts, we did touched on fairy tales a bit. We didn't really get a chance to talk about writing techniques or anything like that. We can come back to that.
We did talk about a couple of them.
Wait, let's rewind that back a second then. If we're going to be ending this, let's wind that back. What do you really mean by writing techniques? I think that might be part of the problem here, is this idea that there's some sort of formula or esoteric magic to how a story is written correctly. So what do you mean by writing techniques?
I think I'm using the wrong terminology. I mean style.
Oh, there's
tons
of different ways to write a story. Freytag's Pyramid, The Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Kisho Tenketsu, the 4-act story structure from the East.
Yeah.
Well, really, what did you hope to get from this episode regarding fairy tales and writing?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Okay.
So, Dom, what was it?
Well, essentially, early in this episode, what is engaging? What makes this is a conversation engaging is really how fairy tales not only get kids into reading as well as writing, right, but also how they leave a lasting mark on people and what really makes them timeless.
Okay, I can answer this. I can answer this. Really, the person who cracked this code and really understands it was Carl Jung, and the person who put it in words that was easier for everyone to understand was Joseph Campbell. And that comes back to that bit about how before we spoke in words, we thought in story. And it's tapping into those universal stories and themes and tropes and archetypes that have been with us before farming even existed, before words existed, that these archetypes in our brains, that you're able to bring that to life on the page. If you were to take the same tropes and themes that we all relate to and feel, and you can put that on the page and get the reader to feel it, that's how you do it.
Oh, very, very much. I mean, heck, one of the familiar ones, in fairy tales and otherwise, is the heroes, same with the damsel. Yet, as time went on, feminists and otherwise, they want to portray the damsel in distress, and other familiar devices and tropes to be problematic, even though when you really look into the history, they're not.
And the thing is the damsel serves a lot of different purposes. You were going to say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with Dom that I am getting sick of the damsel in distress being portrayed as something that is negative, and it's really not. It's not what it seems to be. But
Okay, the damsel can be a lot of different things. The damsel can truly just be a damsel. A damsel could be a woman who really does need rescue. But it also appeals to one of the most core male impulses, and that is that desire to have a woman he loves and protects and would die for.
Mm-hmm.
It is
I love
speaking to
that.
that part of his soul. There is a woman that is so important to him that he would fight through hordes of orcs, walk through hell, go to the underworld and back for her because he loves her and will protect her.
and
that
I
speaks
still
to
love
both
that.
men and women.
Sorry.
What's that?
And her name was Frodo.
No, I was saying to Ishi, I love that. I still love that. The idea
Yeah.
that's what a man is supposed to do.
And on a male psychological level, the female one's a little more complicated. But on the male level, it's also that damsel for the man often represents his female ideal, what he's trying to make himself worthy of. So that's why those tropes, why they speak to us and why we need them. And it's so wrong for them to be destroyed, is that these are really these are the symbols that speak to our soul. These are the things that we feel. I mean, who can't get wrapped up in the idea that a man would love a woman so much that he would walk through hell for her to save her? And what woman wouldn't be turned on with that kind of man?
You know, if the ladies really wanted to see a female's journey where a woman takes action to save a man himself or a male damsel, why don't they watch The Polar Bear King?
I didn't see that. I can tell you the female journey. Okay, look, I wrote a book called Boobs of Steel, and it answers a lot of this, and it actually explains a lot about these tropes and why they matter and how they work. And if you want to understand Campbell and Jungian fiction, it is a good crash course. Link in the somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a link in the description, right?
Yeah.
My book, Boobs of Steel: Decoding the Amazon, answers a lot of these questions and does help you. You will come through it understanding Jungian and Campbell, the Campbellian heroes of a thousand faces
like I said,
symbolism.
Like I said, I expect people to be smart enough to just go in there and look through all your body of work, period. Because I don't have any sympathy for stupid, nor do I entertain ignorance either. So if they have a problem finding it, that's their problem. Those that will find it, more to the power to them.
But here's the thing: the female and the hero's journey and the heroine's journey. Now, a man can take a heroine's journey as a woman can take a heroine's journey, believe it or not, and vice versa. That a woman can take the hero's journey and go through all the trials and do all the things Luke Skywalker did. It just, that story tends to be more resonant if that hero's journey is being taken by one of the action heroine archetypes, such as the Amazon or the Valkyrie or the bad girl, or there's a whole long list of different Amazonian-based characters that are capable of walking the masculine path while remaining a woman in every way.
Xena.
Xena is definitely, although she's also a redemption arc. But anyway, getting into that, the hero's journey. We all know what the hero's journey. Well, there is a heroine's journey which a man can take as well.
In the arm or in the foot?
Huh?
You said heroine's journey, so take it. Like, are we talking the arm or between the toes?
Oh, dark.
Usually between the toes, so no one can notice.
Go on. Sorry.
But anyway, Kat can argue this. There are two heroine's journeys you could argue. One is, hey, Kat, is it Sense and Sensibility or is it the heroine's journey? Okay, there are two. There is Beauty and the Beast, in which the woman of virtue tames the monster and turns him into a good man. He finds his soul. She tames the wild beast and turns him into a good man. That is one of the heroine's journeys. The other is, shit, I already forgot it. What was it again? Cat. The other is Pride and Prejudice
I was just
by
about
Jane
to say.
Austen.
Mm-hmm.
The other is
That's
Pride and
another good
Prejudice.
example.
Haven't read that one, but I have read The Dragon Prince.
I'm going to tell you the failing of the first one when it comes
What?
out to women of specifically my generation.
Mm-hmm.
The failing of that, especially the Prince Charming aspect to it. Now, what has led to women of my generation to do is to seek out abusive relationships and hoping that they could tame the abuser
Mhm.
when they should be.
Ooh.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong
not
at all.
wrong.
That's actually
When-
why.
When
Yeah.
what Beauty and the Beast was trying to impart to them is to show that the man that you might run into is not perfect, but he's also not a monster, and he's not malevolent. He's not malicious. He is
Mhm.
there to. He has a beast within him that needs to be quieted. He is longing for a feminine touch to quiet his inner bestial side. He is not Gaston, which more than likely would smack her around or order her around. Take, for example, in the visual aspect of Beauty and the Beast. When Beast throws a tantrum, you see his frightened face. You see his face of regret, which is you are supposed to be seeking, if nothing else, if you are courting a man that has his own issues and insecurities, you're supposed to be courting the man that realized that he's out of line at times, right? But he will never lay a hand on you. He will not raise a hand to you either.
As opposed to Gaston, who had literally set up an entire wedding just so he could ask Belle to marry him.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not just that it's her feminine. What did you say? How did you put it, Wolf?
I'm sorry. Did I say wiles or feminine?
Feminine softness. I think you said.
In a way, yeah.
It's not just her softness; it's her virtue.
That
By the sheer power of her goodness and virtue, she awakens the better man within him. She causes him to put aside the monster, the beast, the wild, essentially the wild adolescent running loose inside him.
Well,
become a man of responsibility.
If I could say, really quick. First of all, that's a beautiful interpretation. You've just explained, Ishi, why A Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie, and Belle is my favorite Disney princess. Everybody here mostly knows that, because in the movie, when she goes back to check on her father, and she goes, and he asks that beast let you loose, and she tells him, oh no, he's changed somehow. He's not what you think he is anymore. And then she tells the people in the town that no, he's not dangerous at all. He's
Right.
kind. He's my friend. So it kind of goes along with what you're saying, that she sees the good man that's in there.
Which I said
if I'm wording it
before
correctly.
when we had the misconception stream. No, it is not about Stockholm syndrome. See, that's where it comes from, because the way how women are interpreting these fairy tales, they're interpreting it through the lens of their past abusive relationships.
Right.
That's,
Kind of.
that's why I say that's why they're claiming that Beauty and the Beast normalizes Stockholm syndrome. No, it is not. And no, Snow White is not about necrophilia. Do you understand what necrophilia is? Because as I said before in the stream way beyond, I'm not going to tell you where to find it. I'm going to say right here. The prince is not kissing Snow White as a true love's kiss. But this is how I interpret, mind you. This is him giving her a gift for her passing.
Yes.
She was a virgin. not there to be to get her cherry pop, mind you, but she was a virgin. The best thing the best kindness he could give her upon her death was a simple kiss, because obviously she was never kissed before, and that was his gift to her for her passing. Maybe he could have kissed her on the cheek, on on the forehead, but he chose the lips. Why? Because she's never been kissed before. She probably was longing for one.
Nothing
And
wrong
again,
with that.
these are speaking in these symbols of the mind, the language of the mind, the language of dreams,
Hmm.
where a kiss is magical enough. That act is enough to make the love causes her heart to beat.
Mm.
Love is a powerful weapon, and I'm also thinking, well, if not just a gift, but love is a powerful magic.
Yeah.
That can be needed, and sometimes that character needs it. To me, a kiss is a symbol of love, of gentleness, of kindness.
Exactly.
It's never should be portrayed as something you need to run away from or to avoid, and that's
Or
the
need
problem.
well, of course you
Yeah,
need consent, but you know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you notice they're all okay with feminists love the idea of OnlyFans and all
Right.
sorts of horrible debauchery. That's fine, but just a typical loving, healthy heterosexual relationship,
Yeah.
where the mutuality of it, the looking beyond the material, loving someone, saying forever and meaning it. Well, wait a minute, that's Christian nationalism. We can't have that.
They would put anything under umbrella term if it makes them feel better.
And like I said, I interpret that was her traveling to heaven at the end of the Disney Snow White. I like to think that the prince was an angel that visited her earlier in the film.
In the original fairy tale, what it is that he's overtaken by her beauty and falls in love with her and kisses her. Well, in one of the versions, and in his kiss, it moves her head just ever so slightly, and it tilts, and the poison apple in her throat falls out.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't understand how poison worked back then, but but it's a fairy tale. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was.
I like to say it's clever though.
There was like one fairy tale I got to read that was called The Dragon Prince.
Okay.
The mother was supposed to eat. She went to a soothsayer. The soothsayer said, in order to have healthy children, you have to peel and eat an onion. Well, she was so happy to have that solution. She peeled and ate one and then forgot to peel and eat the other. So she gave birth to one healthy baby boy. The other one was a complete freaking serpent that holed up in his basement for years or would come out and wreak havoc. She was like, here's my normal son. We'll call him Normie. Here's my kaiju kid who is out wrecking a town somewhere.
This is why I love having her
Ralph
on.
Bakshi's Wizards.
Yeah, at one point, she had a deal struck with one of the princesses that was like, you got him to bring his normal form back. And the plan was she wore an entire closet full of dresses, like all the stuff put on there. And she'd go to the dragon's cave. And it's like, man, you look hot. Wouldn't you take that off first? Okay, but not if you take it first. So every time she took off a dress, he'd shed his skin. Take off a dress, she'd skin it. And like the layers of the onion, it revealed the human man inside. And that's how the princess rescued the prince. By taking off a whole lot of clothes.
I remember there were some other fairy tales that were in these literature books I used to read in second grade of elementary. One in particular was Dragon Stew. I vaguely remember what that story was about, aside from this this chef being taken to the castle to make dragon stews, and they end up capturing a dragon so he can make him the stew. And I vaguely remember the ending of it, but one in particular was this one story where this princess was well, no, not princess, this maiden was locked in the castle of this duke, right? And in this castle was also this prince that was like this shallow, narcissistic prince, and she spoke to a spirit, I believe, and they made a plan to escape together. And when they did, this duke was pursuing them, and the longer they ran, she was given these three items, one of which split the earth to split the earth between them so that they could escape from him. But he ended up turning into wind. Another item, she used a ring to bind him, and she ends up falling in love with him for some reason. They end up happily ever after. But the other guy, he gets to go free. I always found those were pretty interesting in their own right, to say the least. But like I said, I vaguely remember because I was a kid at the time, but I remember reading them in my lonesome while the teacher was giving lectures. One of my favorite ones was a tall tale legend named Swamp Angel of this giant girl, and she fought this giant bear named Thunder and Tarnation, to the point where they fell asleep for a while and fought in their sleep. And the bear ended up crushing his own head when he tried to partake in one of this sizable beehive. Love that story. If you want an example of a heron's tail, Ishi, that was both masculine and feminine. I told that story before, but that was one of my favorite tales. Ishi, are you still with us? Is he still with us? Oh, he's
He's
muted.
muted. He's muted.
He's muted.
Yeah.
He's more boring. I ain't gonna. Okay, I'm gonna stop out of respect for Cat. I was gonna say something dirty, but I hold my peace out of respect for Cat.
You know, speaking of
Good thing you
dirty,
did.
since I brought up Wizard, somebody put up an interesting analogy. Wolf is supposed to be like the evil tyrant, but he's pretty much, your stand-in Hitler and all that. But then you get the Avatar, and Avatar's supposed to be the American, and oh, he's on the toilet. Thanks, Cat. He's pulling a Nagasaki.
Oh my god.
Projectile shit.
Oh goodness.
And of course, Avatar has to fight the Nazi, but the American as Avatar, but the American is swayed and lured by the, as he put it, as this one person put it, the I just had his name. Ben Shapiro's sister is the big-titted fairy who's seducing and luring the American Avatar.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
So fight the Nazis, save the Jew people, and fuck the Jew people and get swayed and polluted by the Jew. Kind of an interesting analogy.
Very true. I'm just sick of these ultra man-hating feminists who are really misinterpreting these fairy tales, the classic Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, or
turn them all into leaders, even though they're not meant to be the leader that she's meant to be. Like, Jesus Christ, you're trying to make Snow White into a CEO of something.
Yeah, trying to turn her into, making her is it her qualities or not? Just because she's not a warrior does not make her weak. It seems like that's what they want to turn them into, and all the qualities that destroyed who she is bad.
They always have an appeal to the common man, like the guards and the security. You were a boy when we first met. You used to bake. I remember you used to bake with your mother. Like, okay. Does that make you my friend? Does that make you like a sister to me? Bitch, you ain't never visit my mom in a while. Your ass been up in that castle. What makes you think I should side with you because you remember me from a memory of your childhood? Like, both
The
they both
only-
had Jasmine say that, and they both had Snow White recently say that in Snow White movie. It's like, and that's supposed to make you friends with these boys.
No.
Yeah.
Only one I've seen that actually worked for Warrior Woman was when they did the movie Ever After with Ella, and the fairy godmother was literally freaking. What was the guy? He did the Mona Lisa.
No
The-
idea.
The director or the
Oh,
star?
no, the guy
But
who
you're
helped with
technically
the
talking
dress,
about the Drew Barrymore Snow
and
White.
his thing was, and it was,
Oh, Da Vinci. Leonardo Da
Yes.
Vinci. Okay.
and their fairy godmother in that version was freaking Leonardo da Vinci.
Walking on water.
Yeah,
I don't
and they
remember.
even
If I still
actually
love that
had
movie.
the prince and the princess. They all actually had backstories, and the best part was she kicked butt.
Well, the point of the way Ever After works, and I agree, is because it's supposed to be their take on what inspired the Brothers Grimm to create Cinderella. So this woman talks about her mother and her life, and they sit and say, this would make a very good story. We'll tweak a few things, but we'll make a good story. But it doesn't crap on the classic Cinderella. The movie doesn't crap on it.
Right.
Like you said, it takes its own. It's going with what would the origin of Cinderella be, and that's what makes it work, because it doesn't crap on Cinderella. It doesn't take anything away, not like they're doing now. Now they're trying to deconstruct or rewrite these fairy tales, but Ever After doesn't do that.
That's because sometimes when a writer gets a hold of something, they want to reinvent it into something new. Temptation's always there, but sometimes reinvention doesn't work. It sometimes makes things worse.
I
Yes.
understand
Yeah.
not trying to tell the same story, but my God, this is not retelling retelling or trying to avoid telling the same story over and over again. This is just you just lashing out at Daddy for not giving you your horse at Sweet 16.
Mhm.
Indeed.
In case if it's a woman, in case if it's a man, it's just mad at Mama for not marrying the
The
right
other
dad.
thing,
hmm
the other thing that ends up happening when you stick your personal issues in your work is you can accidentally immortalize them.
hmm As mentioned before, well, like Bill Willingham's like Fables, like why he took like the familiar nursery rhyme, folk tale, and fairy tale characters like into like unique directions, which is like he was like faithful to the source materials, as he's telling these new stories. Like even like Shrek, even though like it does like take those familiar characters into different directions as well. Well, it wasn't crapping on the source material.
That's one long shit he taking.
Well, Nagasaki was big and wasteful, so. And then there was
Your
Hiroshima.
call of nature waits for no one. It thunders with the roar of 1,000 Taco Bell aftermath.
I mean, I'm ready to wrap it up, but like we gotta wait for Ishi to come back so he don't feel confused when he comes back.
Yeah. You don't want to leave him
I
left
mean,
But everybody's talking about the Grimms and stuff, but nobody really talks about Perrault much.
That's true.
Okay, guys, I stepped away from the mic
True.
there for a second. I gotta go, unfortunately.
Oh,
we're about to wrap it up right now.
Yeah, we're about to wrap it up.
I'm about to do my signature
We,
goodbye.
we shall wrap it up quicker than Taco
So
Bell
wrap it.
wraps burritos.
Wrap it
Okay.
good. So I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those Jesus Christ, man, the viewership skyrocket as soon as Ishi show up. Oh, so that's what it takes for you guys. I love you though, all the same. Usually I get like 3, 4, 5, 6. Today it was like damn near reaching 20. Anyways, I'm petty. I know. I'm petty. But like, thank you everybody for being here once again. Those now currently 11 of you. Earlier ago was damn near 20. Of course, also we gotta love those nonsense motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. We in the AI age. I understand that. Thank you so much for sitting around with us while we ramble on, or at least have a coherent discussion about writing and fairy tales to boot, along with some personal history and you know, you never know what you're gonna get when you come to my show as usual. And best thing about me is my mandate is make it fun, make it entertaining as best we can, while also dropping some facts and some knowledge. Of course, we had the legit writer here today, Ishii. Thank you so much for joining us, Ishii. Jay is your feeling, everybody, along with his wife, the night editor, which you probably heard her far in the back.
Yeah, I think she's asleep right now, but yeah. So yeah, thank you for inviting me. This was a lot of fun. It was it's kind of good to shoot the shit, talk about the craft, and talk about fiction. And if you guys are interested in my own work, again, J. Ishiro Finney. You can find me on Amazon. All my books are both in print and digital, and I think they're all under $20.
Hey,
Yep.
$20.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a price like that. $20 freaking everybody. I'm gonna share a link in the chat real quick.
It's cheaper than an Arby's meal.
Cheaper than a whore.
Oh.
Yes, I said it. I'm
Oh
a fucking
my.
sexist. I don't give a fuck.
I think that's the future. I just full blown offensive. We should just be offensive as possible about everything.
We need to
And
learn
just
from
accept it.
Leonardo. What's her name again? I know her first name is Leonardo. That girl has zero filter and zero safe faces. She is the next Roseanne Barr and Lisa Lampanelli. Okay, check her out. But no,
Yeah,
really was a pleasure having you here, Mr. Finney. His link, I've shared his Amazon store down in the chat.
Thank you.
And it's also in the description for anybody who catches this in the backwatch. And look forward to seeing more of him, or possibly the night editor, Kat Rocha Finney. Gonna drop that anywhere. Y'all married. I'll respect. Coming up next Tuesday, hopefully Ishii might join us. If not, that's fine. We'll be talking about our animation spotlight for War of the Worlds Goliath. Another obscure animation. We're going on an obscure train here. Ishii, work with us. Future project, the Real Millennials, Dom, lay it on us.
Well, next Thursday, we're probably gonna talk about like everything related to like paranormal investigators,
Oh my!
be it real or
God.
fictional.
Sorry, Mapacelli.
Yeah, we can talk about
that sounds like a
Ghostbusters.
good one.
We're gonna have to kidnap you again, Ishii. I can't with this guy sometimes. He really is challenging me this year. He is really challenging me.
Well, you know, they got real parapsychologists involved in the creation of the first Ghostbusters film.
I know.
Yes.
And also in the past, there have been like actual psychics that work with the police and track down criminals and serial killers.
Mind you, everybody, I'm just playing up my frustration with Don. It's not nothing serious. I mean, it sounds real because it kind of is, but at the same time, I'm okay with it.
Don't take it seriously, people. In other words, okay?
It's like, so as he said, I was like, oh my fucking. I'm not gonna say it because we have a certain good friend of ours that don't like when we take the Lord's name in vain. So I do it out. I try to avoid that as much as I can out of respect for them because they're good people. I only do it when it comes to good people.
Paranormal is a good way for Ishii to rant about the Warrens for a good couple of hours.
Or
you know what? It's Kat who will savage the Warrens with murder.
Oh, you know what, Dom? I'm so glad we gotta talk about. Ooh. It's one of the reasons why I avoid those fucking Conjuring movies. Now, after learning that, it's like, oh, it's a good thing me and the wife have not seen the rest of those fucking movies. Fuck, well, except for maybe. Look,
You want Cat on for that episode. I mean, I'm good with paranormal stuff, but you want someone to be really angry about the Warrens? Oh, get Cat on.
wait. Anyways, next month is definitely our Halloween month, so we're definitely gonna be tackling some werewolf media, starting with Bad Moon. We're definitely gonna be, now that you bring up the Crow, Leia, and I'm pretty sure she did that
Well,
intentionally.
Ishii brought it up first.
Oh, Ishii coincidentally bringing it up. We're definitely going to be talking about the Crow. On
Good.
that, in that year, along with talking about Brandon
Bruce
Lee's
Lee.
father, Bruce Lee. We're definitely going to talk about Remembrance stream about the great legendary Bruce Lee. So look forward to that. I do believe we're going to be talking about some more other werewolf stuff, maybe The Howling, I think. Did I say that?
Yes.
You mentioned it. Oh, looking forward to that. One of my favorite in the werewolf genre.
Yeah, we probably got to track that. I'm going to have to track that down to share with you guys, so all of you guys can watch it. Anyways, that's what's on our menu in the that's what's on our menu in the future.
Okay.
Nothing yet in no. Wait, I think we're talking about Bruce Lee in November. Actually, maybe. Look, I'm hungry. I need to go home. Sorry, I need to go to bed. The author and alien in a human suit, Jay Sherfini.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me. It was fun being here. You all have a good night.
The lovely Leia Violet plus size.
Hello, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Lady of Valor, and thank you for joining us for this wonderful stream with our guest, Ishii, for joining us. If you enjoyed this stream or you want to give any comments about the topics we talked about, or maybe if you have a fairy tale that you enjoy very much, maybe you read it as a kid but you still love it now, please leave it in the comments below. I am very sure Wolf will very much like to hear from you on this. Also, like and share the screen with anyone out there that's fans of this topic. I'm sure Wolf would appreciate that as well. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good
Well, that
weekend.
was quite a mouthful.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Look, sometimes dudes need a little bit of a distraction and possibly a pick me up.
Okay. Well, hopefully I thought maybe that like and share, you can get more subscribers to come on in and join you for your streams.
Look, it's usually the TNA that tends to rile them up and get them here. But moving on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
The Hound of the South Dominic Powell.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in tonight's episode of The Real Millennials. We talk about fairy tales and writing. And thank you, like Jay Sherfini, for joining us in tonight's show. And you're welcome, for the suggestions I've been giving you and everyone in Radio Bonsai.
Oh yeah, you've given a lot of good suggestions.
We have the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty, and I write things. Thank you so much for buying my book, Ishii. It is also available on Amazon.
You know what?
And
after this, I gotta remind myself to link Humble's works too, because I did not know. Look, another time. That's it, Humble.
yeah, that's it. I'm just happy when people buy my books.
Cool. I'm glad too. Last but not least, we have the Sixth Ranger, Stranger Danger, Dark Stranger.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to next time.
And more hijinks and more chaos, and we will happily provide that because
more
he and
innuendos.
I are
Right, Leia?
he and I are tricksters.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm keep your head up and remember, cynicism and nihilism are for losers.
Oh, you forgot that outro. Cool. Good thing you remembered. This is your Wolf Commander, Wolf Tan, reminding you guys once again that you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet. I usually howl, but I got